Hey guys. Uh let's get some feedback in the chat and make sure you guys can hear us. And then
Before we go live.
I mean we're live, but before we
Ish.
start recording the podcast. Anybody.
Mason, if anybody has... Oh, I see. See
Yeah,
it?
you can see it here.
Can you put it up there? I feel like Mason Ford said something.
Yes, he said you can hear us fine. You can see it
Oh.
right here. So before we good. So this is what happened. I got home from work today and I decided to start getting ready for the podcast as I normally would do. And OBS had an update. So I updated it and it erased every single overlay that we have. So that's why we don't have all the fancy bells and whistles that we normally would have in our overlays. It's very basic, very dry. We're not going to have any email screens or anything like that. And now the chat's all fucked up. So we'll see how that goes as well. Hopefully we can see your things. I know that you guys can see them on the overlay. So you guys can see what's going on. But it's extremely hard to read from here.
I could see it fine.
Those small little letters?
No, the YouTube
Yeah,
box.
right there. But as they write in, I don't know if it's going to move the screen. You know what I'm saying?
There is a scroll bar on the right.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Hey, Mason, send like 10 back-to-back messages, even if it's just letters. I just want to see what it does.
It might stop them because it considers it spamming. You can only send so many messages.
Send one word at a time. Spam.
Thanks.
I think he's saying he got stopped for spam.
I just think
Pat's mic sounds
something good today.
Yeah, I'm not. Can you move that?
There, I got something for you, Pat, because I'm good.
That sounded way different than it should have.
It may be an issue. Pat, she said your mic sounds so much better today.
Okay. Oh. Why don't you just do that from the beginning?
I just thought of it now.
Oh. Problem semi-solved.
It'll do for now, donkey. It'll do.
That'll do, donkey.
I did not bring the water bottle home, but I plan on giving him a sticker to put on one of his 15 vehicles. Not that one. Mason got me a water bottle that has our logo on it.
Is the bearded gamer on one side and number 9 on the other?
No.
That would have been way cooler.
That would be for his water bottle.
Put both together. They're an association, bro.
Yeah, depending on how you look at it. You ready to start recording this shit?
Oh, I sure am.
All right, let's do it. Ready? 1, 2.
Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to a Ronda-rousing episode of the Number 9 with Tommy podcast. We're going to bring you foghorn leghorn and hard-boiled egg porn. We'll make fun of any and every relevant topic, like popping some Pringles. You know you can't stop it. You could end up appalled or offended. We could quickly become super unfriended. We tell stories of sex and those of memories past, and the hickory-dickory doctor betrothed Henry the cat. My point is, we don't always make sense, and we could probably be gooder at reading. But at the end of the day, fuck you, Mason, that's one. We're coming to you when our day should be done. We talk about crazy shit, but we're just having fun. Today's episode will have very sensitive subjects discussed. We'll voice our dismay and disgust. If you're easily offended, maybe this is a show you should skip. But before you sign off, please leave us a tip. We're drowning in debt because Tommy loves gambling and gadgets. Remember 2 shows ago when Dobis said that he learned a really important lesson from his dad and it turned out to be an elaborate joke? Here's my buddy, my pal, my double trouble-sized evil homie, the namesake of the show. Welcome. Fuck you, Mason, that's 2. Tommy, what's been up, man? How are you? Tommy got a new mute button, so he's trying to figure out how to unmute himself. Mute himself. He just has to touch it.
No. Touch it. Well, I already explained this to the YouTube audience, so I might as well explain it to the people on the podcast. I got home today from work, and as I normally do, I start getting ready for the podcast. I came downstairs, and OBS, which is the program that we use to stream the live stream, said that there was an update. So, okay, no big deal. I'm going to update it. I do the update, and I log back in, and all of the scenes, which is how you transition from one thing to another, are gone. So with the quickness, I had to. Luckily, I have all the actual scenes, the overlays on a website, so I can just punch those in. But like, if you're watching a live stream, it looks like a hot fucking mess right now because it's not the normal clean look that we would have.
Like Tommy's head.
Yeah. But hey, we're doing it. We're making it work. Hopefully, I have it fixed by the next one on Sunday. But I don't know how the fuck that's gonna work. So I might
just said it was easy, and you just punched some stuff in.
Yeah, like I got these fixed. I got the stuff that we absolutely need done.
Oh, the other stuff's not saved on the website.
No, so I gotta go. Like, there's a lot more to go in and add. So
sounds like there's going to be an exciting refresh to the Number 9 with Tommy live.
I don't know if it's gonna be a refresh, but
well, you're not going to be able to do the exact same stuff. You're going to have,
Yeah, I'll be able to do the exact same stuff if I remember how to do it.
I just thought maybe this would be a great opportunity for you to expand your horizons.
You know that I just redid all this shit, right?
Yeah, no, I totally noticed.
Erica says it doesn't look horrible. We appreciate that. So we might as well get right into it, Pat. We got one piece of mail, so let's get into mail time. If I can find the mouse. Find the mouse. Found it. Oh, man, I tell you.
Eric, I'd like to respond to your "it doesn't look horrible" comment by saying this: "You don't look horrible, sweetheart. You know what? Something I said?
What do you think Colin's in there arguing with his friend about?
Something about dodging his phone. I might have misunderstood him. You can decline him because he doesn't like you. You don't like him because he doesn't love you.
Well, I don't. That's true.
Is he macking it to some girl, like trying to steal her away from?
Trust me, he's not macking it to anybody.
Phobic Squirrel said, "What the fuck is the lighting situation?" Phobic Squirrel, due to your propensity for punctuality, you've missed the explanation. But basically, Tommy came home from work, fucked everything up in one fell swoop. Can't figure out how to fix it just yet, and hopefully by Sunday it'll be fixed.
That's not at all what happened. I did an update. I think he's talking about the room lighting. Phobic, when was the last time you were on? Because we've been using this lighting for a minute.
Erica said, "Ha ha ha! I like how quick Tom whipped his head around when you said that."
Ha ha ha!
That's good. You make her laugh.
I do. She makes me laugh. Her laugh is quite cute.
It's contagious.
You know what really got me with Erica? I'm not gonna say this on a podcast, but I'll say it on live stream.
What's the fucking difference?
Facts. When we first started hanging out before we started dating, you ever notice that she snorts sometimes when she starts laughing?
She
really?
does, yes.
I thought that was the cutest fucking thing in the world.
I see. Is that something you still find cute?
Yes.
Have you ever thought something was really cute about somebody and then
it
broken
annoyed
up with
the
them?
shit, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that's the lowest form of like decency in a person. Maybe that, if you guys ever break up, that snort will be haunting you for days to come.
I don't think we're ever going to break up. As long as you keep your fucking mitts off her, we'll be fine.
That seems unfair. Why would you assume that I would break you up?
All right, ready? Teeth.
Why is he saying teeth?
I don't know.
If they've got teeth, disgusting. Huh. What?
I'm so confused right now.
Is Phobic saying that if his exes have teeth, then he finds them disgusting?
That's what I got out of that too.
Phobic, do you have a lot of exes that don't have teeth?
Phobic is known for dating and now marrying quite attractive women, so I don't think that's the case.
I don't disagree. He said bingo. Interesting. Phobic has a lot of exes that don't have teeth. Or they all have teeth and they all disgust him. One of the two.
I think it's option B.
Don't hate the play, I hate the game. I'm so confused by the player and the game right now. I have no clue what's going on. I don't know how to play this game.
You ready to do this?
I
Are
am.
we going to open Dip's thing in mail time? I think that's appropriate, right?
We can.
I mean, it was mail that was delivered right to your house.
I don't think that's mail. That's just a drop off.
Well,
I'm down now.
all right. Agent of Chaos. Gotcha.
We think the odds are that's like a mouse trap. And when you reach into the box,
It's going to get us. All right, let's do this. All right, so we got one piece of mail this week from the newsletter. It is from the one and only Griff. Griff says, this seems pretty simple, straightforward one. This is to the question of the week. The would you rather lose all your money and valuables or all the pictures you have ever taken? So this came to me because of what everybody was saying about the last one.
The laptop story?
Not the laptop story, but they didn't want to, you want to share all the contents on your phone or delete everything, and everyone's worried about the pictures. So that's how that came to me. Also, it came to me on a Google website, and I thought it was relevant. It seems pretty simple.
What the fuck?
This seems pretty simple, straightforward one. While I'm not overly materialistic person, I also love the pictures and how they help reinforce memories. You always have the memories they go along with. So I would definitely say lose my pictures, and losing everything would drastically change the very foundation of my life. With my life, my wife, and
my wife and I have built together.
The life my wife and I have built together. Griff. Very sweet, Griff. I'm not a very picture person, nor I don't want to say I'm materialistic, although I like things. You know what I mean? But I understand what's important in life.
Yeah, but you're not materialistic. You're compulsive, and when you find something you like, you have to have the best of it. But you don't. It doesn't mean something to you because of what it is. It means something to you because of its function.
Yes.
I don't think that you're materialistic. I just think that you're
obsessive. I don't have to have the fanciest of things.
Just the things that you really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a 2017 Ram.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful truck. Beautiful truck. So we also got a it's just me, or does it seem like the vocals are all fucking over the place today?
You probably reset that when you fucked everything else up.
It's been a mess. Who knows how this podcast is going to start?
They're a little weird.
You know what it might be?
Maybe your mic's up too high.
That could be it. Yeah, much better. All right. So anyway.
By the way, the mic that I bought that was significantly nicer than the mics that Tom bought.
I wouldn't say it was significantly nicer.
Somehow,
it was quite nice.
I let Mason take for their gaming stream. Mason then returned, but not to me, in the privacy of my own home. He returned it to Thami. Now, Thami's mic looks remarkably unfamiliar and has a new mute button on it. And I'm still rocking the same mic that I was before I bought the nice one.
To be fair, Pat is rocking my old mic. Pat's rocking my old mic because we were having those issues with the other mic. Even